Modern Storage Unpacked. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Modern Storage Unpacked, the podcast where we make space for what matters. I'm your host, Hannah, and we also have
Kaylee.
Yay.
Hello.
She's our favorite co-host. I'll tell you what we're talking about.
Yeah, tell me what we're talking about.
We are going to be talking about how self-storage is booming in 2025.
Oh, yes.
Like, what is driving all of this demand? Because
Golly.
I'm sure wherever our listeners are, everywhere that you drive through, cities, rural areas, you are seeing little self-storage places pop up everywhere, pop up quickly. And
Yes.
it's almost like a Dollar General, they're
Or
almost
car
like
wash.
or if you're in Maumelle Mexican restaurants,
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't be too upset about that.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're seriously, they're popping up everywhere, and there's a lot of demand for it. And we're here to kind of unpack a little bit about why it's either so popular or it's just in a lot of demand. So
I like it. So, Okay, if we're talking about the storage unit, how would you feel if someone opened your storage unit, like right now? What would probably embarrass you the most if someone took a peek in?
I would say, firstly, my Care Bear collection. I did grow up loving Care Bears a lot, but my aunt Michelle, kind of named after her, my middle name's Michelle. She loved Care Bears, and she had like the OG original, like when they first came out, like the antique, Care Bears. And so I got her whole collection on top of my collection. And so I got a lot of
Oh my gosh.
Care Bears. It might be worth some money sometime.
What's your favorite Care Bear?
Sunshine. That would definitely be probably the most embarrassing thing, or probably just costumes. I know, like, for sure I have a panda costume in my storage unit, and my son, like, he loves just dressing up all the time. So we just, even when it's not Halloween, he finds a costume. He's like, oh yeah, I like that. And so we just got a lot of costumes and Care Bears.
Oh, I love that though. That's so cute.
What about you?
So
Putting you on the
it
spot.
would probably be my blow mold collection.
What is a blow mold?
Okay, so blow molds, for those who do not know, are the fun, like, lawn ornaments that you see that are plastic.
Oh.
So I am a part of, like, a Facebook group, like, blow mold collectors.
Getting back into it a little bit, I think that one of the major aspects of why self-storage is really, really booming in 2025 is the housing squeeze.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're talking about a lot of people experiencing family members moving out and going from like a 3, 4, 5 bedroom house to it being like, maybe it's just you and another person, and you realize you don't need that much space. And so downsizing, or heck, I mean, rent is so expensive.
I was going to say that's another huge factor. So higher rent prices are driving people into smaller homes, which means they got less storage space, you know? And so storage units really do now function as like extended like closets or garages or like attics or something, and just kind of offsite. I feel like that is probably one of the biggest reasons, I would say. I mean, we've all seen how the housing market has been since, I would even say since 2021.
Yeah. It's hard to figure out what you want to get rid of, or if you have to get rid of anything. I know, like, sometimes small storage can prevent people from getting things that they want because they're like, oh, I don't have room to put it. You're telling me I should get more Halloween decorations? Where am I going to put them? Yeah.
Or if, like, you are having to move and it's like you're moving into such a smaller space and you feel like pressured, almost like a time clock. If I've got to get rid of this, I've got to get rid of this. Storage can kind of provide that, little bit of like time for you to like really, think about like what you're there to let go of, or, what do you do want to keep. So, there's kind of a few reasons. Like, doesn't have to be forever. Listen.
Yeah. And I feel
you don't have to rent a storage unit forever. Most people, and when it's best used is, as long as it's not like business accounts or things like that, if it's solely personal stuff, it's best used when it is short term.
Yeah. And I mean, again, depending on where you go to get your storage unit, see if you can just do month to month and, you know, be able to get out if you need to. Because that's right. Like, it doesn't have to be for forever. And you can, and sometimes it helps to make the process of going through things a little bit quicker.
A little bit
if you're
easier.
like, hey, you know, I don't really want to continue to have this unit for forever. So
yeah, just don't let it be put completely on the back burner where you're just paying for a bill each month of things that you just never go visit and see. And, you know, it's just a never ending cycle. I've seen that a lot as well. Okay, we're going to play a little game called Battle of the Junk Drawer. So, Kaylee, what is one item you can't throw out, but no, you should?
Okay,
You'll have one.
If I picture my junk drawer right now. Okay, so I have this thing where it's not blow molds. I can't fit those in a drawer.
Okay.
However, I tend to keep plastic utensils. So if we get anything like to go or delivered or anything like that, the utensils that come with it, if I don't use it, I just throw it in our junk drawer, and I keep
you're just
everything.
Gonna use it one day.
Yes, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I do.
You're like, I got that.
Well, like if I don't want to use like my actual silverware, I want to use something plastic. I have just a junk drawer full of just like plastic silverware. But it's horrible. Like, it's gotten to the point where I'll open the packages and just use the knife.
Do you want to hear what's in my junk drawer that I just can't get rid of?
Yes.
I feel like I got to go now.
Please.
This might be a little embarrassing. Batteries. I don't know what it is. Like, if my remote's dead and I got to change out my batteries, I don't throw my batteries away. I have a big pile of batteries in my junk drawer. And so when I'm needed batteries for something. It's almost like a guessing game. I just got to keep like trying different ones to see which ones work. Because I'm like, there has to be some use left of it.
No,
batteries are expensive. Also,
they can also expire.
Are you sure about that? Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen an expiration date on a package of batteries.
I'm pretty sure that they can expire.
So another little game. I think this will be fun. We're going to be playing Keep, Toss, or Store. So Kaylee, I'm going to be asking you.
Okay.
Are we keeping, tossing, or are we storing tangled chargers?
I mean, do they still work?
You tell me. They're tangled.
I'm going to keep it. Listen, chargers.
Power source. I hear that. I do the same thing.
I'm not. If they still work, I'll just plug them in all tangled as they are, or just sit there for however long it takes to untangle them.
Yeah.
Because, if they still work, I definitely will keep them.
I know for a fact I still have 2 chargers that don't work in my drawer, in my bedside drawer, actually. And it's very shallow. It takes up a lot of space. Like, why don't I just toss it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Keep, toss, store the snow globe you got on vacation 6 years ago.
Okay. I'm a very sentimental person, and I'm going to have that snow globe displayed on like some kind of furniture in my house, so it's gonna definitely be kept. But it would, I mean, like, I'm gonna keep it. I have trinkets and little souvenirs from a lot of places that I couldn't even store that. I didn't get too nervous, especially with it being a snow globe. It being like cracked or something. Yeah,
that makes sense. I love snow globes. I do the same thing. It's just like, it's like at some point, when do you like store it, versus like we're tossing it. Yeah. Just keep them forever. And like your great grandkids are like, this was my great grandma's Kaylee's trip to Bahamas, something like that. Like,
that would be really hard though. I guess it would be a toss up between keep or store, depending on. I guess I do have a snow globe from a sorority sister who it's like our picture together inside of a snow globe.
Okay, that you got to keep forever.
Yeah. So,
okay, last one. Keep, toss, or store. This one's a big one.
Okay.
Mix matched Tupperware.
I'm a toss. I hate it. I hate my Tupperware.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I hate washing it. I hate putting it up. I hate all of it. If I could just never have leftovers ever, I'd be fine. But
we need to come up with a storage hack because I feel like that's honestly America's biggest struggle is Tupperware storage.
Hate it.
But I'm the same way. I mean, I hate it, but I love it. Like, I always got a Tupperware size for whatever meal, we got leftovers for. And you know what? I have Tupperware taken up 3 different places in my kitchen. That's how bad it is.
But
it's really because my dad tries to do my dishes and he doesn't know where things are. And so now I'm just finding Tupperware in all the different drawers and cabinets. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I start adding to the collection because I'm like, there's space up there. And now it's just like,
so
all my kitchen
you
is
just
Tupperware.
keep it.
Yeah.
I just want to toss all of my. Okay.
I know I have a lid to it somewhere. It might not be right where it's at, but it's somewhere. I'll find it.
I'm the person who, if say that, we do have leftovers and we put it in a piece of Tupperware, put it in the fridge. If it's not eaten like within a week, I just throw the whole thing away, Tupperware included.
Well, let's move on to another, the second, I would say probably biggest reason why self-storage is booming in 2025. Mm-hmm. I would say this one's pretty big. It's really just about like life transitions. I feel like life has transitioned a lot.
So much.
And continues to nowadays compared to it has previously, between like moving and, people divorcing or going to college or combining households. And storing can be like a pause button during that chaos as well. And so I know that like people have always moved and always gotten divorced and always went to college and, things like that. But I feel like it's kind of amplified in today's market because, you're kind of having to move to go chase the bigger job with the more money to be able to afford things now because the cost of living and everything is so high. And, same with like combining households. A lot of people are like getting roommates to afford rent because you can't do it on your own or whatever have you. So, you're combining people into one place and, they might both have a lot of things and might need some storage. So, I feel like that's a pretty big reasoning is just like life transitions.
Yeah, and you never know, like utilizing a storage unit could really help figure out, okay, where do I need to go during this time, trying to figure out stuff, especially if you are moving. I mean, just keeping your items in a storage unit while you get settled and situated is such a nice thing to be able to do if you can. So
yeah,
it's definitely nice.
And speaking of divorce, I've heard that, I think we've mentioned this before, but we've done it before where you guys can get a storage unit with us and, you guys can put all of your things into a storage unit and then you never have to see each other.
Nope.
Y'all just come and get your own things as you come and go. And, I'll even let you know like, hey, he's in there or not, so
it can be a great neutral ground for anyone just going through that kind of situation. It's definitely helpful to at least have a neutral ground to say, come get your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And a controlled environment a little bit too.
Yeah. So worst moving experience. Go.
My worst moving experience was probably moving out of my childhood home that I've lived in since I was 2. Oh. I moved out, this would have been 2021. And, I wasn't moving out of it. I wasn't living, I guess I would have been 24 at the time, 23 or 24. Wasn't living out there at the time, but my dad was moving out. He was selling his house. And having to go through all of this stuff and that, like, we've literally been there since, like, I was 2. That was, like, 21 years.
Yeah.
And it was kind of sad, like, going through, like, in the attic. Like, we had the big old box TV in there, things that, like, just kind of totally going back in time. We found my dad's backpack that he literally came from England to America in way back in the day. Just a lot of cool memories. But yeah, that one was pretty stressful. So, Kaylee, if your 19-year-old self had a storage unit, what kind of nonsense would be in there?
My shopping addiction. It would probably Kaylee at 19. Yeah, most definitely. I probably would have. Yeah.
What kind of shopping were you doing? Like where?
All shopping.
All shopping.
Online. I mean, at the time, so 19. God, I feel old. I'm like, where was I at 19? Definitely, I had worked for Dillard's, so, definitely utilizing that discount.
Ooh, yeah.
Big time. And I mean, that was like my life. So whenever you work at a store, it's so hard to not buy things, especially when you see new things coming in and you get to try it on first. You know, you get the full size run. So it would have been filled with all of the extra clothes, seasonal clothes to switch out. I would have been just like Olivia. I would have been just like her.
I swear it's just like, it would feel just like to me, like working at a restaurant and not wanting to eat the food. You know, after working there so long, sure, you might get sick of it a little bit, but it'd be like if you're hungry and you're sitting there serving burgers, I'd be like, that burger kind of looks good, you know? So I feel that. I feel that.
I mean, definitely when I worked at a restaurant, that's what happened too.
Yeah. So pretty much just be careful with working in retail when you're young.
Always be careful working in retail because of that discount.
Well, moving on to another reason why I feel like self-storage is booming in 2025. The side hustle surge.
Yes.
You know, people are making probably what they were back in the day, but the cost of things have gone up so much that people are having to get creative with like how to make ends meet. And I feel like side hustles have really came up the past like 2-3 years, especially.
All of these drop shippers, I feel like are booming.
My friend tried to get me to get into that too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a YouTube hack on it. I'm sure you can find a TikTok hack.
There's some way you can do it. It's just not my.
And you can just rent a storage unit and have it all delivered to the storage unit, and then whenever you get a chance, go buy the storage unit, unbox it all, and then just send it out from there. I do follow. Kind of an influencer. She just quit her like corporate job and she opened up her own like loungewear company.
Okay.
And I got to like watch her process. She was finding a storage facility that could do everything that she wanted to do because she wanted to run her business
out of it. Yeah.
And she just has a unit that she doesn't store at any of our facilities because she complains too much about the storage facility, but she, uses it. She gets her, like wholesale delivered there.
Wow.
She has a little printer to print all of the labels and she packages all of the orders right up from there and then takes it to the, UPS.
That's wild.
And that's it. And she had been doing that as a side hustle during her like corporate days to the point where now she was able, like that was making her more money to
when
do
she
that.
was making it corporate.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
I need to learn
it's
this.
all of these side. And then too, I'll see people create their own like content studio. I mean, for all you guys know, we could be in a storage unit doing this right now.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, people,
they have walls that actually roll, that have wheels. We just brought in a wall.
Yeah, this is actually a fake wall. I can't touch it or it'll fall down. But people, utilize storage units as just like that passive income to help, bring in some extra money or even just as their own like studio. Wasn't it one episode where you told me that a woman was doing a whole entire salon?
Yeah, I think it was,
mind-blowing.
Yeah, ran a whole salon, like shampoo bowls and everything. Another reason why I feel like self-storage is booming is the work from home boom, you gotta make some space for a home office, kind of clear an area of your house. The rise of people working from home after COVID.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty big number and spike, I feel like. It just became more of like a new normal, Like I feel like, before COVID, a work from home job was really tough to find. But I feel like, in some places have like really wanted to get back to people in the office, which is understandable, but it really made companies realize like, wow, productivity is the same, if not more, and I'm sure the workers love it too. You're saving time on gas. Also, imagine if you had like, if it was like a couple or a roommate situation and they both are work from home, like you're talking full on turf war, like, are we having like our desks right next to each other? Are we getting our own rooms? I don't know. I just feel like you gotta kind of make some space for all that. So.
Yeah, and I definitely can see where people were looking at storage units as like, okay, we took this second bedroom that was, kind of our throw away like
gym or
and now
extra
we've
room.
got to put it somewhere else, and it's
guest
kinda,
bedroom, but I don't want to throw away this furniture. So,
Exactly.
I don't know how long I'll be at this job. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll make me come back to work sometime.
Yeah.
So,
Or you can find a storage facility like Modern Storage, and it has a conference room with Wi-Fi, and you can just sit
Work
in there
from
and
there.
work and say, I need a break from you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the storage facility and work
Yeah.
from there.
okay. Switching this up a little bit. So, Kaylee, if you had to make the switch to work from home, how would you set up a home office? Would you need a storage unit to clear the space in your home for that? Like, would you need one of those background filters thing that make you look like you're at the beach to hide all the clutter in the background or something? We've all seen those people that do that, by the way.
Yes.
Like, tell me, how would you make it work?
Oh.
Would you need a filter?
Oh, for sure. For
Okay.
sure.
Even the blurring background.
The blur, at least the blur background, at least
That's
the blur.
that's the minimal.
Yeah, because it would, it would be very difficult actually to figure out what we would put in storage and what we would keep. But yeah, it would be very difficult. So I can't even. Honestly, I'd probably just take over where my fiance plays his video games.
Turf Wars. That's what I'm talking about. See,
So
I was
I'd
right.
make him move his PlayStation and like the monitor, and I'd say my desktop's going here. You figure out where you're putting that stuff. So he has a desk and everything set up.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
probably what I'd use.
Turf Wars, taking
kick him
over
out.
his
I'd kick him
desk.
out, yeah.
Like, you can't even move this stuff. I'm keeping the desk.
Yeah, I'm
Just move
keeping
your
the
stuff.
desk. I'm keeping the computer chair. It's it works, but I
Yeah.
need you to move your PlayStation. I need you to move your monitor, and that would probably. But I'd still have to do a background because
For sure.
it wouldn't. Yeah, there's nowhere in my house that I would feel like this needs to be shown.
So another one, I feel like, so people working from home, maybe getting a little bit more free time. Maybe they're getting some big toys too.
Oh yeah,
Got to have some storage for those big toys, like boats.
Yeah. And a lot of HOAs won't allow you to park your boat or RV in like your driveway,
Yep.
let alone like the street that
Can't
your
be
house is
visible.
on.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times people don't find that out till usually they buy one and they get a notice from the HOA being like, hey, you can't just have this parked out here for more than 24 hours.
Like, I understand you don't want to live in a neighborhood that is just like junk everywhere, but I'm sorry, who buys homes in an HOA? I've just heard so many horror stories,
Sometimes
and I
you
don't
don't
want
get a
someone to tell me
choice.
what I can do and what I can't do with the color of my front door and how long my driveway is and exactly how many inches I can widen it out. Like, I've seen horror stories.
We got a notice saying that our grass was too tall.
You're in an HOA?
Okay, so I don't know if it's an HOA like exactly. We live in its own like
Community.
community, and so we have
But can they legally
Code
do anything
enforcers.
for you? Yeah, code enforcers.
yeah.
well,
So in which you if you live there, you can volunteer to be a code enforcer. They wear little vests and they walk around the neighborhood and
oh my gosh.
and they just like they literally just look at your house. But yeah, our grass would.
I'd sit there and throw tomatoes at them. I would throw
Well, it's a
tomatoes
little
at
old
you.
lady, so she's sweet, and like for the most part, like they don't seem to control like the color of your house or anything like that. It's mostly like what I've seen is you're gonna get is the our trash cans can't be out in the road past 2 p.m. the next day after the trash has come. Our grass can't be more than like 6 inches tall is too tall. We did just we get monthly newsletters, and they just did inform us that now they're going to be inspecting the sides of the houses for the grass length. So we have to make sure that you're just
Who's
being
coming
munged.
over to my house with a ruler and telling me what? Like, no.
I was shocked actually when we got that. That was our first notice. We had gotten my fiance had gotten a notice on his car for parking the wrong direction.
See, this is why I don't want to live in a cookie cutter neighborhood. I want to have some land. I don't want to see a neighbor. I want to be able to stand out in my front yard naked if I want to.
I would love to. We rent, so it is very much just kind of happened to where we are. We've been there now for almost 5 years renting, and love the community. But yeah, there are some really weird rules that we do have.
Like renting a storage unit now isn't like what it was before. I've never rented a storage unit back when I was 2 years old, but I can imagine, some of them now come with like, your own app to open up the storage unit and stuff like that. There's like, it's just completely touchless rentals, digital gates, and it just makes it easier than ever to rent a unit. Like you can go online and plug in some information and you got a unit, your gate code works.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it makes it a little bit like easier, and too, like you just there's just so much more that, people tend to need whenever they, rent a storage unit, especially if you're talking about like a small business, utilizing some of those extra amenities like the package concierge or anything like that, package acceptance. That's such a huge thing too, especially if that you're getting, something very valuable or large, knowing that it's coming to a person.
Yeah.
That's going to keep it safe, and it's not just being put on a porch, because people follow some of those trucks around.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've I feel like storage units have just are gaining popularity, like I'm sure back in the day they didn't have business centers and like conference rooms and Starbucks coffee and things like that. And honestly, I don't know of a lot of places that do. I know we do, but it's just like an evolution, I feel like, of what storage facilities are kind of becoming. And I feel like that's definitely appealing to people. And well, speaking of tech, would you rather have 24/7? So if you have a storage unit, would you rather have 24/7 surveillance of the place, or unlimited free Starbucks coffee? You can only choose one or the other.
That's so hard.
Like unlimited.
Yeah, that's really hard, actually.
Like you can come in and have 20 cups a day.
Yeah.
But you ain't got no cameras on your stuff.
Ooh. I feel like, dang. I don't. It's going to be like, I'm going to have like the Jeopardy theme song going.
Right now. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Because, so here are my thoughts. Unlimited Starbucks. Do you know how much money I would save? I would save so much money. Go multiple times. Go, add ice to it.
You'd probably drink more coffee just to make it more worth it. You're adding up in your head like, oh, I'm saving this much.
But the downfall of not having the 24/7 surveillance could bite me in the butt later.
So you haven't made a decision. You can't decide.
I mean, okay, you tell me. What would you decide?
I would say, listen, I love coffee. I love coffee. But if we made it unlimited 7 brew, I would totally give up the cameras. Yeah. So another reason why I feel like self-storage specifically is self-booming. Self-storage is self-booming.
It is.
In 2025, another reason why it is booming will be, I feel like, the sentimentality of things versus minimalism. Now, hear me out. Now, it kind of is just like a weird combination there. But people love decluttering, but they love not letting go. They're very sentimental about things. Storage is kind of like an emotional safety net for, wanting to declutter, but not wanting to let go of everything. I know we kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier. And the rise of tiny homes as well. So, people are kind of forced into smaller homes. I'm sure you've seen all over TikTok, things like that. People, showing off their tiny homes and tiny homes for sale and stuff like that, and there's just no storage,
No.
There's just no storage. And what are you going to do with all of your kids' childhood memories? And maybe they're not in their own houses yet because, they're just kind of ran out of the flock. And, so, you got to find a place to store it. But there's definitely, I feel like, a rise in this just a small alternative living.
Yeah.
And minimalistic living, but loving the sentiment. Like, they still have all the sentimental things. Like, having to pair those two is, I feel like, what's also causing a little bit of a boost in self-storage.
Yeah, because, I mean, even if, your 2025 millennial family decides to do the RV life or the tiny home life, you have to think that if, like, all of your kids like making stuff or like
all the little things. I struggle with that as a parent.
I was gonna say
every time Bo comes home with something from school, and it's like every day. Yeah. I'm like, do I keep this? Do I add it to the pile? Like, do I throw it? Like, I don't know, because like I don't want to be that person that just has endless. But at the same time, it was so cute when I was moving my dad out of my childhood home. He kept everything.
So tell me, Hannah, what's one sentimental thing that you've stored that really makes no sense to keep, but you still have it?
So I don't think this is one I was originally going to put, but I would probably say I have had a sticker collection since I was 5, and it started in, I don't know exactly what it was, but I had this really small, like, house thing. It wasn't like a doll house. It was almost like a jewelry box house, but maybe I took the shelves out of it. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how this started, but I started like putting stickers all inside the house. Yeah. And then all outside the house, and then all under, and then all on top. And then I like ran out of, like, literally the whole entire thing was covered in stickers. And then I just kind of started like doing other things. So it's not just like a sticker collection. It's like a collection of things that I put stickers on, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So, and I don't know, it's strange and it's sentimental to me because it just kind of like, it's kind of like my own piece of art. And like, it's just so me, because it started like at 7. I don't even know why I started doing it. I didn't mean to just like start putting stickers all over the entire thing. I don't think I had an end goal. I was just like, oh, this is cute. And I like looking at it all. And it just kind of grew. And, still to this day, I look at, and it's like the most randomest objects. I've used a wooden squirrel once too. So it's like,
where'd you get a wooden squirrel?
Flea market. I go to flea markets. Okay. I haven't been to Goodwill. I might need to check that out. But
you might find a wooden squirrel there.
I don't think it's more so the sticker collection itself that's the craziest thing. It's just like the random objects. I just look at something, I'm like, that'll be good to put stickers on, So.
That looks like a good thing to put stickers on. I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's good. I feel like we shared some good stories today. So anyways, kind of wrapping up a little bit, I'm sure you've seen just about as much as you've seen Dollar Generals popping up on sides of roads, places. You've seen self-storage facilities kind of popping up too. And I feel like we just want to dive in a little bit, kind of turn it into a fun where we, also get off topic a little bit, have some fun games. Yeah. But I definitely think that the housing market is the biggest reason of that rise. I feel like minimalistic living, due to having to push into smaller homes, but still having that sentimental factor to it. The work from home, the side hustle surge. There's a lot of factors. There's probably some factors that I didn't even explain here. Yeah. So, if there's a specific factor that pushed you guys into a storage unit recently, please let us know. Yeah. We'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kaylee, for joining us. I feel like we had a fun episode. We'll see you next time on Modern Storage Unpacked.
That's a wrap for this episode of Modern Storage Unpacked. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and check out modernstorage.com for more ways to stay ahead in the storage industry. See you next time.